Welcome to Chicago, everybody, and I'm welcoming especially folks who are joining us on the live webcast. Rick Sickler, I'm Associate Vice President at Stamats, and it's my pleasure to have you join us today for the third TeensTALK live presentation. What you see behind me are 16 of Chicagoland's brightest, all just graduated from high school, a variety of high schools, and they're headed off to a variety of colleges and universities next year. This has been, for the last couple of years, the highlight of the conference, and I think this year's going to be no different because the short time I've had to interact with these folks in preparation for the conference, and then certainly this morning, I'm very encouraged by all the energy and enthusiasm and hopefully inspiration they bring. Now, what I've asked them to do is to be very candid and very honest in their answers. And I told them that you folks are marketing and recruitment people who spend your lives and earn your livelihoods by creating materials and messaging strategies and organizing and executing recruitment marketing programs. So what they tell us today will help us do a better job and will help students in the future be better served by the work that we do. So if you do have questions, we'll be sure and take those questions toward the end. We'll allow some time. This is about a 90-minute session. So jot any questions down, and if we don't get those questions covered sort of during the normal exchange that I'm going to engage these folks with, we'll be sure to do that. Also, those of you who are watching online, you're welcome to submit questions. I think that the hashtag is hashtag StamatSim, STAMATS-SIM. SIM stands for Stamats Integrated Marketing, by the way, in case that's a closely held secret. All right, so without any further ado, I'm going to have them, these guys all go down and let us know first name, high school, college or university, and what you're going to study. Ready? First name, high school, college or university, and what you're going to study. Ben?
All right. Hi, I'm Ben. I just graduated from Marmion Academy. I will be attending Drake University, and I'm going to study finance.
Hey everybody, my name is Dan. I also graduated from Marmion. I'm going to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I'm thinking of going into accounting.
My name is Blake, graduated from Marmion. I'm going to Texas Tech University, and I'm studying construction engineering.
My name's Rob, also went to Marmion. I'm going to University of Illinois, and I'm pre-med.
My name's AJ, also went to Marmion. I'm going to Miami of Ohio. I'm going to study finance.
My name's Jayla. I graduated from Bolingbrook High School, going to Loyola University, planning on majoring in English.
Hi, I'm Sajani. I graduated from Bolingbrook High School. I'll be attending University of Illinois in Champaign to study biology.
Hi everyone, my name is Swami McNeil. I graduated from Bolingbrook High School. I'll be attending the University of Illinois, Urbana-Champaign, and I'm currently undecided.
My name is Sarah. I just graduated from Bolingbrook High School. I'll be attending Illinois State University, and I'll be studying psychology.
Hi, my name is Kayla Bell. I'll be attending Drake University. I graduated from Bolingbrook High School, and I'll be studying psychology.
I'm Alex. I graduated from Marmion Academy, and I'm undecided, and I'm going to St. Louis University.
Hi, I'm Abby. I graduated from Rosary High School. I'm going to Loyola University to study business management.
Hi, my name is Helen. I graduated from Rosary High School, and I'm going to Augustana College, and I am going to study pre-med.
Good morning. My name is Elon. I graduated from Loyola Academy. I'm going to U of I in Urbana-Champaign, and I'm undecided right now.
Hi, my name is Bobby. I went to Christ the King. I'm going to Alabama A&M, and I'm majoring in mechanical engineering.
Hello, my name is Mark Anthony. I graduated from Loyola Academy, and I'm going to be going to Drake University to study marketing.
Outstanding. All right, now, I've encouraged the students here to not talk in paragraphs, but rather to talk in sound bites, so everybody has sort of a chance to talk. But what I'd like to start by asking is, when did you guys get serious, really serious, about looking for college? And let's do the old raise the hand thing so we don't talk over each other. But when did you get serious about looking at the materials that you're receiving and thinking, okay, what's my future hold for me and where might I think about going to school? Anybody want to jump into that one? Yes, sir.
I started sophomore year.
All right, sophomore year. How many of the rest of you started in your sophomore years thinking seriously about college? All right, how about junior year? Junior year? How about waiting until the senior year to really get serious about it?
Summer.
Wait, now, listen, that's okay, because we saw some research yesterday that says a lot of students. So tell me what made you kind of put off until your senior year heading off to college or thinking about college?
I think a lot of it was, I was just really busy during school year, and so I did wait until summer after junior year going into senior year to do any real research, and a lot of it was I wasn't exactly sure like what kind of program I wanted to go into, and I think that affects obviously like which college you would prefer a lot.
That's good. That's good. Who did you wait till the senior? Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't really care till senior year. And, you know, I never really thought high school would end for some reason. That just never processed in my mind. But, you know, at the beginning of senior year, a lot of people started talking to me. A lot of teachers started talking to me to get serious, so that's when I started.
Okay, good. Number of applications you submitted to colleges. How many submitted just one application to one school? 2 applications. How many of you sent in 2 applications? 3 applications.
Nice, Rob.
4 applications. How about 5? 6? 7? 8? 9? 10? I think that got everybody. 10? 10?
I had more than 10.
Who had, you had
Yeah, I had
more than 10?
Yep.
Okay, we're going to pick on you.
Okay.
Because we want to know. Okay, you have to get confused a little bit by this college process because you're getting lots of stuff in the mail, right? You're getting lots of email, you're getting lots of phone calls. You chose to submit a whole bunch of applications. Tell me what kind of went through your mind to decide that's the route you were going to take.
I sent out 12, so I was just really kind of looking for like a big name school that really people are going to look at after 4 years and be able to get a quick job, be able to succeed after college. So I sent a lot out to like the big name schools looking for a place I could succeed later.
Good. So you want to have some options
Right.
available to choose from. Were all the schools you applied to sort of big name schools?
I had 3 or 4 like safety schools, so if I didn't get into those ones, I was able to fall back on one.
Okay. How many of you did have a safety school in your collection that you submitted to that you knew you're going to get into and as you go there as a last resort? Okay, very good. How many of you only applied to public universities, so just public universities? How many of you applied to only private universities? How many applied to only community colleges? All right. How many of you applied to a mix? That's probably it. All right. How many of you did send an application into a community college as part of that mix? Anybody? Any particular reason why? We've got some good community college folks in the audience here. If you chose not to submit an application to community college, what prompted that decision? Yeah, Mark Anthony.
It was just like I wanted the 4-year college experience, and I mean I didn't think a community college would give me what I was looking for, so I applied to all 4-year universities.
What is magical about that 4-year experience in your estimation? What really does it boil down to? What does that mean?
I don't know. I don't know. Like where I come from, just community colleges weren't really looked at as something that you go to, that you really want to go to. At least where I'm from. So I applied to 4-year colleges.
Do you kind of get? How many of you feel the same thing at your high schools? It's just not the kind of place you go to. All right. Who's sending you those signals? Is it just like other students, your teachers, your guidance counselors? Yeah.
Well, for me, it was other students. A lot of people were saying college is the best 4 years of your life, so why not go to university?
They're not saying there's the best 2 years of your life. They're saying the best 4 years.
I'm sorry, 4.
Or 6. Yeah, 6 or 8 or 10 or 12 for some. Absolutely. A couple of you had comments down here about the community college. Did you? Yeah? Go ahead.
Go ahead. No, Jayla.
Yeah, just going along kind of with what he said. It's like there was a lot of, I guess, I wouldn't say pressure, but kind of, depending on what what classes you took. Like if you were in honors classes, there just was a certain standard you were kind of subjected to, and maybe it was just your subconscious, but like everyone around you with ACT scores of like 30s and 28s, it's like you want to fit into that mold, I guess, and it's just kind of this subconscious feeling that you have to succeed to a certain standpoint, I suppose.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that. I think for me personally, it was a lot of my family. I think like it's not the most prestigious place ever, a community college, and there was the whole like fulfill your potential type thing, and I was in honors classes. I got an ACT above 30, and I think community colleges are good for people that like don't have the money and things like that. Like for sure, like I would never want to downplay community colleges because they are, like, for people that need stuff like that or don't have money, I think it's a great opportunity, but, you know, it's, unless you're not in that situation, I guess you wouldn't really want to go that route.
That's fair. Something? Oh. Yeah, you. Yeah, you.
Well-
Yeah, you.
Well, I just wanted to say, going off what they said, my family, that's not something that, I guess, I don't want to say acceptable, but that's not something that my parents would want for me. They want me to, I guess, fulfill my potential, they would say, and like aspire to more. So I didn't apply to any community college because my parents wouldn't hear that, so.
Okay.
For me, it was more personal. My parents both went to community colleges, and so is my brother. So I just felt that community college wouldn't give me the challenge or opportunities that I would get at a four-year university.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I mean, obviously we all kind of agree with here, I think, with what's been said. But, I mean, big thing for me was just, I mean, I don't want to be in my house for another 2 years, Yeah, so, I mean, four-year college, I applied to 3 public universities, so I definitely want to get out there and see the bigger world. I don't want to be in my house.
Let's talk about that getting away from home for just a second, and then we'll swing back to the college thing. Well, this is all college thing, I guess. But how many of you will go to a school that's within 30 miles of your home? Okay. How many of you are going within an hour's drive of your home? How about 2 hours drive from your home? How about 3 hours? Within 3 hours. Any further than 3 hours? Okay, good. For those of you who are going far, far away from home, 3 hours, what kind of goes through your head as you make the decision, okay, you're going to take the plunge, you're really going to get out of the house, right? But you're really not only getting out of the house, you're getting out of the state, maybe, in some cases. Ben, tell me what went into your mind there.
All right, yeah, well, I didn't apply to any schools in Illinois because I've lived here for 18 years, so I kind of just wanted to get out of the state. So I applied to, like, some schools in Ohio, but I'm going to Drake, so Drake's, like, 4.5 hours drive. So, I mean, it's, like, a good distance, so if I needed to, I could come home for the weekend or something, but most likely I'll just be out there for the whole year.
How about the rest of you who are going further away from home? Anybody make any observations? You're going a long way from home, aren't you? Yeah. Yeah. Tell me what's taking you that far.
I want to get away from home as far as possible. like I've been around to all the other states, Wisconsin, all around here. I just want to see how down south was, so I applied to a 5 college down south. That's where I'm going now. I don't want mama to sneak up on me, no reason at all.
That's very good. All right, let me ask you this. Did any of you think about applying to a for-profit school like Capella University or Kaplan or University of Phoenix? Anybody even give that any consideration? Do you know, have any of your friends done that sort of thing? Any of your friends going, what's the take on the for-profits? Some of which are offering undergraduate programs that, I don't know if you knew it or not, but you could start your undergrad career at a for-profit university. What's your read on that?
I guess my impression is like that those are schools for if you're going back to school, like say, I don't know, something happened in your life and you couldn't finish the 4 years. That's like when you come back and you're like 30 and you want to get your degree, that's what I think of. You go to those schools. No offense.
No offense. I don't know if you heard that. No offense. The few of you in the audience who are over 30, no offense. Other observations about the for-profit schools, or what's the general vibe?
I feel like the way they're advertised is for, like what he said, like maybe a business person who needs another degree. They're not really advertised for, like, 18-year-olds who just graduated or high school.
Okay, good. Other observations about, like, University of Phoenix or other for-profits that you've seen advertised at all? No? Let's talk about advertising for a little while, because we're all kind of interested in how college and university advertising impresses you or depresses you or, changes your opinion of the schools that are advertising. Are there any schools that have advertised that really made an impression on you? Have you seen any college or university advertisements, either television or online or billboards or print, that really struck your fancy?
Yeah, I got in the mail, I got from University of Miami. They sent me my name on like a banner and stuff and got me really excited about it, but then they gave me like $2,000 for financial aid, so it kind of depressed me a little bit.
Kind of the roller coaster.
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I I would say the University of Chicago. They were really unique, I guess, just in the way, like, they mailed me a map of their campus, and then, like, on it, they gave you, like, different ideas of what to do with it, like, you know, turn it into a flag or fold it into a hat or something, and, like, it was really interesting, but, like, at the same time, like, I don't know, like, advertising in general just doesn't really have much of an effect on me. Like, I already knew that wasn't the school that I didn't want to go to, but I just kind of, like, appreciated that they were, like, willing to be different. And, like, they did the same thing in, like, their essays, too, when you applied there. They were just, like, you know, they were just, like, really funny and, like, trying to get you to be creative, but...
So they felt like they had a personality? Campus had kind of a personality?
Yeah.
I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I just did.
You did. Yeah, like... I would agree with, I would say that. But like I said, like, I already knew the school, and, like, it just kind of ended there. I just, like, appreciated it and didn't care, you know? That was it.
That's fair. Ben?
Yeah, most of the schools that sent out free T-shirts, those are my favorite kind of advertising. And not only, like, in the mail was really surprising because only, like, 2 schools did that, but then, like, when you go on the campus visits, usually they give you one, too. So that's just me, but...
What happens when you get doubled up on that promotional stuff? How does that make you feel?
Depending on the school, some good, some I just kind of get annoyed with, and, like, most of the letters that I get, I, like, wouldn't even look at. I just, like, see them, and if I wasn't interested, I just, like, throw them away.
Okay,
So.
we're going to circle back to letters here in a second. Jill?
Yeah, well, I guess going again with letters, it's like certain schools, a simple thing I think could be done is, like, they put the actual envelope was their school colors or something like that, which, like, you get so many, like, letters are just these little white envelopes. It's like, okay, they're just this pile of white envelopes, but if you see, like, this bright color, I don't know, it's just like a simple attraction to that specific envelope. To me, I don't know. I
So
like
something
colors.
different, something that kind of stands out. Okay. Yep.
I feel like well, maybe everybody, but we're very visual people, and I think that when you get a letter of, like, 2 pages of writing, like, who wants to sit down and read that? So I think it would be better maybe if somehow it was more graphic and it was quick to the point rather than reading 2 pages of information times 20. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's keep talking about advertising. Now, when those of us out here think about advertising, most of us think about stuff on television, or stuff on the radio, or billboards, or print campaigns, print ads in the newspapers and magazines, and banner ads online and all that sort of stuff. But none of you have mentioned that. So I want you to think about those particular channels, those communication channels, the billboardy things, the television, the broadcast, the print. Do you remember any colleges that did any advertising that really kind of you remember, that kind of struck a chord with you? Anybody locally? Yeah.
Well, the school I'm going to, Illinois State, they have this logo, state your passion, which I thought was really cool. They send it to you on, like, all of your, I guess, your letters and things that you get. They have billboards, and to me, that was really cool, the state your passion thing. I was like, oh, that's like a nice logo, and that had me, like, interested in stuff, especially when I got that first
State Your
letter.
Passion kind of
State Your
spoke to
Passion,
you.
yeah.
Okay. Anybody else remember any advertising anywhere that, yeah?
I know for me, like, when I'm watching TV, I won't see, like, commercials for regular schools that aren't for profit. Like, usually I'll see, like, Phoenix or Kaplan, like Eric was saying earlier, but I'm not going to see, like, University of Illinois or Wake Forest or places like that unless I'm watching, like, a sporting event and the schools are playing and they'll give a commercial for that. But otherwise, I'm not seeing those schools on regular TV.
Okay.
I remember 2 years ago when I was interested in Drake, they did this D+ thing, it was Drake Plus. And so when you get something in the mail and you see something that says D+, it actually makes you want to read, because what school would be sending out something that has a D+ on it? They want you to go to school. So that kind of engaged me into opening the envelopes, and then...
You have made my year. Just want you to know that. Thank you very much. Okay, other campaigns, whether, yeah, go ahead. Right here.
I know I just noticed this recently, maybe in the last week, on YouTube. I noticed I live in the Fox Valley area, and there's Waubonsee Community College advertisements in, like, the banner on YouTube. So I just noticed that.
Now, what does that make you think about the school that's advertising on YouTube? What pops into your head? This school's cool. What are they doing?
I mean, yeah, I don't really go for the whole, like, hey, that's cool, but it's definitely like no other school is doing that. So I mean, if I'm just sitting there wasting time on the computer like I always do, clicking on a link and taking 5 minutes like that. I mean, if I'm interested in the school, I'll definitely click on it and rather than opening an email.
Have any of you ever clicked on a link to a school, on a school ad that you've never heard of before? So if it's a school you know that you might have an interest in and you see their ad, then you might pursue it a little bit. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
This probably this really has nothing to do with like advertising for schools, but just in general, like, has anyone heard of like that freecreditreport.com commercial? Love that commercials. So great. Like, I don't know, like it just seems like with a jingle or something, it just like sticks in your mind. Like I know I did it for like math, like remembering formulas and stuff. Like, I don't know, just things like that I think are really cool. So if you did that in your commercials, I think you'd get some people there.
That's good.
A little jingle.
What other commercials from other products do you guys really like? We talked about this earlier. So let's take us out of the college thinking for just a minute. What commercials are really impressing you? Down here first.
Can I say what I don't like?
Yes, yeah, that's good too.
The raps, like, get connected for free. I hate that. I hate that.
So the lame raps.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, the super lame raps. So take that home, folks. And if your president or chancellor wants to do the rap, that's even worse.
My favorite would have to be the Education Connection.
Okay, now tell us about the Education Connection if we've not seen it. Can you you guys describe the commercial and why it's cool?
It's catchy because of the way she sings it, and it's a lady dancing, and yeah, she's in her pajamas pretty much trying to get you to say that you can go to college and you don't have to get up and dress, you just stay in your room. So, and it's like a catchy song, everybody knew it for years, and so that gets me, that would catch my attention.
Okay. Yeah, is it good? Oh, really? Oh, really? So you don't like the rap that is the Education Next, but you do? Is that
I like the song.
You like the song. You don't like the song.
I hate the song.
All right.
I hate them all. Like, if it's
hates them all.
I'm not a fan. I don't hate.
I got you. Yeah. Okay. Other commercials from any products that you really like, that really impress you, that you remember?
The Allstate commercials with Mayhem. Those are just really memorable.
Mayhem? Okay. A little edgy?
Yeah.
Kind of a little surprising? Unpredictable? Other good ones that you remember? Yeah.
Any commercial that makes you laugh usually sticks in your mind. Like I remember from the Super Bowl, the M&M one, where the red M&M takes off his candy cone and is flipping around. So pretty much anything funny really sticks in your mind.
And now there's a fine line between funny and just dorky.
Right.
Yeah. And we are inclined to do dorky because we're quite a bit older than you. So any advice that you might have for us, and I don't mean to put you all down, but I know you because you know me, we're all the same. Any advice that you have for us in terms of keeping it funny but not crossing that line?
I mean, well, maybe this is just me because I'm really dorky too. But I mean, if you embrace the dorkiness and like use it to your advantage to make us laugh at you, cool. So I mean, yeah.
That's really insightful and liberating. Other advice you'd like to share with yeah.
Maybe just test it out. Like bring in some younger, like I don't know, even students. I don't know, to your company, or test it out first before you put it out on the television. You know, just to see if you get laughs, or send it out to a couple. I don't know, just like a group of people, and then see if you get positive responses back.
Good. Good. Other wisdom, Mark Anthony.
I think the best way is find a way to connect with everybody, because when you connect with, like when you see something and you say like, oh, like that's how it was for me, or I can connect to that, it kind of sits with you and you remember it pretty much.
Other advice, other wisdom. This is your chance. You could shape the entire future of higher education with your comments today.
Maybe if you find out like what kids are saying nowadays, like YOLO. Like if I saw a commercial with a university that said YOLO in there, I'll probably only want to live once at that university. So I don't know. That's kind of my suggestion. Like take something that's really popular and saying it, and then twist it into your own commercial.
That's a good thing or a bad thing?
That's a great thing.
It's a great thing. All right, good. Who did you lean on for advice as you kind of jumped into your college search? Who was really influential? Yeah, Alex.
My parents and my sister, they were all really helpful because my sister, she's going to be a senior in college this year, and then both my parents, so like they helped me figure out what I liked and what I didn't like, and also what I could be interested in. So their advice really did help me, and like also their friends, they also gave me great insightful advice of like how to pick a college, just like what I like and not necessarily what my parents wanted me to do.
Very good. So if I ask you the most important piece of information or wisdom they gave you, it's choose your school for you, not necessarily for what your parents want you to choose?
Yeah.
Okay. Who else did you lean on? Who else was influential in your search? Mark Anthony.
My college counselor from school, she was like really good because she knew exactly like what would fit me best and like where I should be looking into and what I should look for in a school, because she was doing it for she's been college counseling for I don't even know, but the years are double digits, and it was just like she knew exactly what she was talking about. So
Who else kind of relied on your college counselor at high school to kind of steer you and guide you and give you the kind of information? Tell us about that dynamic. What kind of information was really valuable from that person? What kind of support and encouragement did you get? And what do you, those of you who didn't use your counselors, what do you wish they would have done for you? Yeah.
Well, I know my counselor, she sat down with me and she asked me, we talked, and she asked me what I wanted out of a school and, my interests, and she helped me pick my major and, just everything. So I think when you sit down with that person and she knows what she knew what she was doing, like you said, and you talk to her and have like a real conversation about what you want out of a school, then it'll be helpful because it helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I wish my counselor would have pushed me a little more because I would suggest colleges that I was interested in. He would say, well, you probably can't get in there. You might want to look somewhere else. So it's like, oh, okay. But instead of giving me a challenge of saying, well, you might just want to try, or this college could be suited for you to see if you can get in there. It might be a stretch, but that wasn't that. But overall, he was okay.
And I was to say especially during junior year when I was searching for colleges, my guidance counselor helped me a lot, telling me when I named a school, she would say like what type of ACT score I would need to do, what kind of classes that would impress the college. So that was very helpful in aiding my college experience.
There's something? No? Here. Sure.
My guidance counselor wasn't really too great, but I would say the website I just relied on would be College Prowler. I mean, I was on there every study hall when I got home too. I mean, I would just even if I was on the same like U of I, University of Iowa, University of Florida, I would just like look at them every day, like maybe look at something new that I didn't notice. I would just really relied on that site.
All right. How many of you used College Prowler and visited College Prowler? Okay. What do you like about it?
I just really like how they put grades on everything at the school. So, if whatever you were looking for, they would grade it. So, yeah, say dorms, they would put like C+ or D, or something like that. But they had like a lot of stuff on there to grade.
What else did y'all like about College Prowler? Yeah.
For me, they made everything easy for me to like understand. When I was looking for, like you said, they put those grades on there, and they put the grades for everything you're looking for, like your dorms and class sizes and stuff like that, and it just made it easier for me to understand.
Okay, for those of us who might not know what College Prowler is, who's assigning the grades?
It's students who go to those schools.
Okay, very good. Other observations? Yeah.
Yeah, and I think that's really important to know. It's really important to know like the good and the bad, because obviously when you're advertising a college, you only really tell the good, but I think that gives like students an opportunity to say the good and the bad, because each student needs to find what college works best for them. So.
I just also think that was a good like College Prowler was good, because when you go to a school, all the people who work there and all the students, they only really tell you like all the good stuff about it. So, like she was saying, you do get to see some of the bad, which is a good thing, help make your decision.
Good. Other websites that you used that were really helpful to you in sorting out your college options? Really? Yeah.
I use something called Naviance.
Naviance? How many of you use Naviance or know what Naviance is? Okay. How did you use it?
They tell you the tuition and the number of students that go there, and the average ACT scores and a GPA that gets accepted, things like that.
Okay. Anybody use Naviance for other stuff?
I use Naviance.
No,
I use another site.
What site?
I use US News, like the education stuff and like where they ranked colleges, and then you can click on it and learn all about them, like where they are, what like the description, and it has like ratios and like how many faculty and stuff like that.
Let's talk about that. Don't you love the stream of consciousness, the way we're taking this? Let's talk about the rankings now that you brought them up. We go back to websites in a second here. I'm going to give you a chance to score how important U.S. News and World Report, or really any rankings, are to you. You can score it very important, somewhat important, or not important at all, in terms of your sort of sorting through your options and making your college choice. So how many of you would say that those rankings, either U.S. News or other people's rankings, were very, very important to you as you went through your college search process? Very important. Okay? Somewhat important. Not important at all. All right, we're going to start with you, my friend. Why did you say those rankings just don't matter?
Because like you don't have to go to a #1 college to get a good education. You can really go anywhere. It's always about your effort and what you put forward into to get your education out of it.
All right, let's talk to the group that the rankings were very important. That's beautiful. Somebody wrote that down, I'm sure. Let's talk to those of you who said rankings really important. Yeah.
Very important.
Very important. Go ahead, whatever.
Well, I thought like it's not just like academics rankings. It's like how the student life is and like the dorms and like intramural sports and stuff like that too.
Okay.
All right.
Talk about school.
It's like Ben's posse down here. They just like each other a lot. Other observations about the rankings from really anybody? I mean, how were they valuable to you? Or how were they not valuable to you? Either way.
Well, like he said, it is possible to get a good education from anywhere as long as you put forth good effort. But for me, it was kind of important because when I graduate and I'm out looking for a job, I do want, when I put down what school I went to, I do want people to be able to say that was a good school that she got her education from.
Okay. All right. Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you graduate, most jobs are about networking.
Right.
So if you go to a school with a better reputation, even though you can get a good education at any school you go to if you put forth the effort, if you have a school with a good reputation, that can take you farther than no matter how hard you work in college.
Good. Yep. Yeah.
When I looked, I didn't necessarily look for like what school was like #1 in academics. Like overall, I looked for which schools were good and had a good reputation for the major I'm going into, rather than just like what like the big name schools were. And that's why I picked Drake, because they have like a good financial program there.
Okay. Financial in terms of what you're going to study, or financial aid? Yeah, what you're going to study. I got you. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's just more of a down-to-earth point. Like, who went to a big school who, who doesn't like to name drop, Like, I'm going to say, like, I went to U of I, like, and I'm going to be proud of it instead of going, I mean, there's nothing wrong with small schools, but for me, I definitely, like, a big-name school or, like, a top-class school, I definitely would prefer that.
Others ranking? Yeah.
At first, when I first started like looking for colleges, it was really important to me to look for a big name school because I did think of like the job aspect of it. But then, after a while, it just got down to like the base of like the purpose of college and learning what you want to do for the rest of your life, and it really doesn't matter. It just kind of like, in general, I feel like people these days just kind of settle just to be able to like support themselves. But like my dream in general is just to be able to do. Whatever I do is like when I wake up in the morning, I'm going to be happy to go where I'm going. So, I mean, whatever I do as a dream or whatever, I'd like that to be like my main goal. So, it doesn't really matter about the school, I guess.
Yeah.
For me, I would just say that the college rankings were like vital in my search for colleges, because as a sophomore in high school, like you don't really know what to expect from different schools. And so when you go on like something that's well known like U.S. News, then you can be like, oh, okay, well, they probably have a lot of scouters or people that go and do the rankings, and it comes out like on an annual basis. And so as you're searching for what school you want to go to, you could see like, okay, this school offers more financial aid to minorities than this school, or this school has a research program in Germany and I really wanted to go to Germany. So those rankings were just like very important to me because I could compare what other schools had over other schools, and that's why I liked it.
Okay. Yeah.
Another ranking was important to me because I came from a family where people didn't all go to big name schools. Some people went to community college. Some people went to North Park, which is in Illinois. And so it shows me that you do not have to go to a ranked school to become successful in life, really. All you really have to do is just work hard in whatever you want to be in.
Very good. I love that. Let's circle back to there are a lot of creative folks in the audience here, like we talked earlier. A lot of folks who are responsible for writing and designing and creating the advertising that we talked about and the publications that you received, and even writing those letters that you received in the mail over and over and over again. Are there any schools that really did a great job of capturing your imagination? We mentioned the D+ from Drake. We also mentioned what school was it that you really liked, that they capture your imagination thing?
The University of Chicago.
University of Chicago. Any other schools really do a great job in your experience of creative expression? Yeah.
Well, when I got the acceptance letter for Butler, because I applied to it, like the envelope was, it just looked really fancy, and you know you had to unbutton stuff, and it was crazy.
The wax.
And that really like caught my attention. Like, oh, you know, this might really be a good school, and it's really prestigious and all this stuff, and it's, you know, maybe something I might look into.
Okay. Other schools that really impressed you, their stuff impressed you, Jen?
Well, I applied to Columbia College in Chicago as well, and I got accepted. And I mean, they are a liberal arts school, but they sent me like this book that I still use. It was like blank, but like a lot of artwork in the front of it. And it was like, they said, live what you love, like on the front of it too. And it was kind of like blank pages so you can like draw or like write or whatever. And that was really interesting, kind of like playing to, you know, your creative side, I guess. So that was pretty cool.
Good, good. Others? Other taglines or catchphrases you remember? Yeah, go ahead.
What I liked, and it was more in the acceptance letter, was that the one of the people in in charge of acceptance, they wrote a little personal note to me, and I liked that because I wanted a school that was more one-on-one and would give the attention that I needed so I could succeed and go out and find a good career.
Cool. Other good ones? Any school taglines that you remember? Yep.
I applied to Marquette, and they sent me a letter from Doc Rivers, who also went to Marquette. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's like he knows me, you know, but not really.
He knows you. Well, as far as we know, he knows you.
Right, exactly.
That's good. You got a letter. Okay. Other schools that did a great job of communicating, or their creative materials were particularly memorable? Yeah.
One of my rejection letters from Davidson College, North Carolina, they wrote a little note that said, like, we know sometimes we make mistakes, and maybe you would have been better set than someone else, and maybe you'll be better and more successful. So that kind of like made you feel good about yourself, like, oh, I didn't get in, but they still think I'm a cool person.
The gentle rejection.
Yeah.
Nicely
Nice.
done. Okay, let's flip that question. Did any schools really do a bad job? I mean, did you receive stuff in the mail that was just, yeah?
For me, it wasn't really like a bad job or stuff in the mail. It's because they were calling me a lot. Like, I would get missed calls from Southern Illinois like so many times, and like I just feel like you're invading my private space. And like, I mean, I'll contact you. I have your number and everything. Like, you can look online for your information. But I think calling your potential students more than like 3 times a week is overboard.
How many of you would agree with that? How many of you were called more than you wanted to be called? Okay, all right. Who had observation down there? Marquette.
It was like one school, I can't remember which one it was, but they called me like 5 different times asking me if my email was the right email for the school. And it was just like, you know, I gave you the same email like 3 different times. You should have it by now. And another thing was, like some stuff I would get in the mail, it would be the same thing. Like from Nebraska, I applied to Nebraska, Lincoln, and they sent me the same letter that said you're accepted into the school, and they sent that to me like 8 different times, and it was just like, all right, well, I got it already. You can stop sending it, you know. But
anybody else remember receiving the same letter or the same piece of the same publication in the mail multiple times? What does that make you think of the school? Does that change your impression of that school? What does it do to you?
Well, it just kind of makes me think that the school's a bit sloppy in their work. Because I got, like, the same, after I'd already sent to Morehouse that I wasn't going to go there, I kept getting, we haven't received this in your application. It's like, okay, well, I called them a couple times, and I asked them and told them, I was like, I'm not going. But it just made me think that, like, they didn't really care about how I didn't want to go there and whatnot.
Yeah.
Oh, and also like they're not keeping, they're not keeping track of who you are. Like when you go to a college, like you still, I mean, at least I want to feel like, okay, I'm still somebody, not just a number. And when they keep sending you over and over, it feels like they didn't keep track of like what they sent you. Like that just makes you feel like a number.
Okay. Other observations about getting multiple stuff in the mail?
Oh, I had a question. Do they do that on purpose just so that you get like the idea, or is it like?
There are a variety of strategies. And sometimes yes, and most often no. How about, let's talk a little bit about social media. Let's talk about the Facebook and the, all those social platforms out there, YouTube and other ways that you guys are connecting with each other. How do you feel about colleges using those spaces or those channels to interact with you and collect information and dialogue? Yeah.
For me personally, like I think I would get really annoyed and irritated actually because like on Facebook and YouTube, like those are probably like the least appealing advertisements to me ever because when you go to those places, like that's just not what I want to see, and so seeing a university use those modes, like to me personally, like it would just really irritate me and I would not be interested in looking into that college at all.
How many of you agree with that sort of assessment? Okay, the rest of you, tell us a little bit about your impressions of that space for communicating. Yeah.
Well, I think it just depends on how you do it, but like when like on YouTube now they do like the advertisement in between, like right before you watch your videos or whatever, I will get extremely irritated if it's like some stupid commercial ruining my time trying to watch this really cool YouTube video and it's like, no, I don't want to go to your college, you just ruined my time. So like I don't know. It's just irritating.
Okay. All right. Other observations about colleges that try to use those spaces. How about schools that any of your schools set up a Facebook group for your incoming class and that sort of thing? Okay, let's talk about that. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? Tell me what's good about it.
Personally, I've met about 40 to 50 people from that page, and it gives you a way where you can like meet new students, and I think it's very clever that they make that page because it makes you, and they actually talk to you in that page, like people who make the page, so it makes you feel even more closer to the school.
Okay. Other observations? Yeah.
This wasn't personal for me, but a lot of my friends, that's how they found their roommate, was going on there and like posting, hey, this is what I'm like, and someone would comment on it, and they just end up rooming together.
Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say that, like, at the beginning, I really liked it because it was really cool, and, like, you could see what classes people are taking, so you could kind of meet a couple people, but then, like, as you looked at it more, I'd see, like, the same person commenting on, like, it, like 4 times, like, hey, this is me, like, trying to make some friends, and they just, like, keep reposting that, and, like, I'm going to meet all you guys when I get to campus, so, like, I don't know, that's just what I saw from it.
All right. Mark Anthony?
Yeah, like me personally, I'm not really a big fan of the whole Facebook kind of thing because I feel like it's not really the same when you're talking to somebody over like some electronic thing. Like even with text, like when you're texting someone, you can't really read the text like, how that person really feels or, what, how they're really saying it. And I just feel like it's, it's just really different. And I'd rather meet them in person,
Are any of you Facebook friends with your recruiter from your college that you worked with? How many of you are Facebook friends with your recruiter? How many of you have shared your cell phone and told your recruiter, you can text me if you need to be in touch with me? Is text messaging okay for your recruiter to contact you? No?
Is that because it wasn't an option from the schools, or is it just because they chose not to?
So the question is, did you just choose not to do that, or did the schools not give you that option? How many of you just chose not to give that information? You don't want to talk to anybody from the school via text or Facebook? How many of you would do that if the school gave you that option? How many of you just really don't want to think about it because you're done with this? Well, I mean, seriously, we forget how much it takes out of a person to be distracted by so many messages just barraging you. So I really feel for you guys. You have to process all this stuff, and you got to get numb after a while.
Well, I mean, I feel like a text message is okay. If it's just like, there's this kind of event, you can be here. Just a quick reminder, because I'll read a text message before I read like an email or something. But as far as like Facebook, I mean, I don't want to do that. Like, I'll go on Facebook to look at all of my friends from high school, and just a lot of like, it's a lot of inappropriate stuff on Facebook. So I just feel like that's not a professional place for school and stuff.
All right. How many of you would agree with that? Facebook is just not, or text messaging is just not a professional place or the right place for colleges to communicate with you. There are better ways. Okay, good. You got a comment?
Yeah, like a lot of football recruiters, they would friend you on Facebook, and they would like chat you and be like really awkward, like I don't want to talk to you like right now. And that it shows a lot about their class when coaches would Facebook chat you, when other coaches would call you and make time out for you to like actually talk to you and see how your week was going. And that made a big difference on my impact and how I felt about the schools.
Okay. And how would they ask you how your week's going? They call you, they text you,
They would, the coach that I like, they would call, and then the other guy would like Facebook chat me, and I was like, don't want to talk.
Don't use Facebook chat. Okay, all right. Let's talk about websites for a second. Now, you mentioned the College Prowler, we talked about the U.S. News, and other sort of sites like that, but how much did you use the college's websites that you were considering? How many, for how many of you was that the primary place that you found information that you needed about that college? Okay. What were the other places that you leaned on to find information? Those of you who didn't raise your hand, what was your primary? What was the focal point of your quest for information about your schools?
Probably like College Prowler, like we were talking about earlier, pretty much everything on the website.
So you
apart
really-
from just like the grades, they have a lot of information on there.
So you relied on Prowler even more than the school's website?
Right. Like for myself, I find U of I's website to be a labyrinth. It's really hard to navigate.
Okay.
I would also say College Prowler, but also like books, like the Princeton Review book. It's just that like everything is, in one spot, and you can just read, different information about the school in one spot. You don't have to go through these kind of buttons and stuff to look for what you're, one question that you're trying to get answered.
Regarding websites, does anybody have a really bad website? Oh, yeah, that was quick. Jayla. Whose was it?
Well, my school, okay, I didn't really use it that much until I really started like registering for classes and everything like that, and they did a lot of things over online, and it's just really complicated because everything you do is through the internet, and it's like really weird and complicated, and it's frustrating, and I don't like it at all. But I like the school, but that website is a mess.
So you're willing to look beyond the website and still like the school. That's good. Any of you, the rest of you have bad experiences or frustrating experiences with websites?
I personally thought that Marquette website was kind of difficult. You had to go through all these places just to get one information, and it was kind of annoying, and I kind of got irritated after a while.
And what's annoying? I mean, you said it's difficult to get through, difficult to find things. Is that what makes websites difficult for you? Okay. What kind of information must you have on a website? I mean, what information do you expect to find on a college website every time you go there? What did you look for most?
Well, not really information, but I expect to see the login button right there. I remember I looked at Marquette online. It was hard to find it, pretty much. But yeah, so as long as the login button's right there, I'm fine.
So you're logging into your portal. You're logging into your account on the college's website.
Right.
Yeah. Anybody else? Observations? Information you expect to find on a website? Yeah.
I think they definitely need to have the tuition price, and because they change constantly, so they need to have those where you can get to them quickly.
So make that tuition quickly available. Okay.
I would appreciate something like some type of advertisement about different opportunities that they have, like take pictures from different events that they hosted and be like, if you come to this school, you could be a part of this, and you see like a whole big picture of like a lot of people having fun. So not only display like information about the school, but also something like you could see visually about, oh, this is what you actually do.
How important are pictures?
Vital.
Yeah? Yeah? Do you ever get the sense that a lot of colleges are kind of using the same pictures? Do they kind of look alike or not so much? No?
Sometimes.
Sometimes? Not so much? Okay. Yeah.
I feel like they do look alike. They'll have a picture, some kids out on the grass, studying, and then they'll have like some kids in class talking to their teacher, and then some kids in a dorm, and then they'll have a lot of like you know, they'll have, you know, like an Asian kid, like a black kid, and then like a lot of white kids. I mean, it's all the same, like to me. I don't think pictures are that important.
Other observations about pictures? You're right on, my friend. Other observations?
I mean, you can tell the ones that are authentic, though.
Okay, what makes an authentic picture? What makes a picture a really good picture?
When you call someone off guard, like they have like the ugly face on because they really weren't expecting like you to take a picture.
Yeah. So that's a good picture?
Yeah.
Why is that good?
Real. It's real.
Oh.
Yeah.
Real. There's a
Yeah,
concept.
it's real. Yeah, everybody knows.
Jayla.
Kind of going back to the thing about what I'd appreciate on a website, I just think like the main facts that you'd like to know about a school, like class sizes or like student to teacher ratio and tuition, like just basic things that they like. I feel like I can never find that on like college websites. Like that's the obvious things that people want to know, but they just tell you about everything else but that. And I'm like, I don't really care about everything else right now. I just want to know the basic things of like why I'd want to go to this college. So just put that like right in the front, like bold letters, please.
All right.
Thanks.
Yeah, we got one question over here.
If we had the space to put one value of the university in front of you, and that's it, just to catch your eye, to catch your attention, what would be the most important value of the university?
Tuition. Value of the university.
Internships.
Internships. All right.
Yes.
All right. Mark Anthony.
I would say like if there was like a percentage of, you know, kids who get a job as soon as they graduate from school, that would catch my eye.
Lots of heads nodding on that one.
Yeah.
So are you interested in like what kind of jobs graduates get from the schools you're going to?
Yeah.
Okay. Other values that you'd like to see a college just put one up front and center that's most important to share with you? What they value as an institution?
Like job percentage placement in your field, like getting a job that you actually wanted rather than just like any job that's out there that you like could settle for. Like students getting jobs that they actually studied for 4 years in college.
Okay. All right. Other values? Yeah.
I think the average number of years it takes for a student to graduate, because I wouldn't want to go 5 or 6 years to a college just because of issues with like credits and stuff.
Okay. Good. I don't want to leave this photography thing because it's kind of fun to talk about. Any other advice for all the photographers out here in the audience? What makes for a good photo?
Yeah, I definitely prefer not a staged photo over like U of I is like quad day, and I know I've seen a bunch of pictures of quad day and it looks awesome. And I've talked to my sister who went to U of I, and I mean, just from seeing that, I mean, I can tell it's an actual like thing that happens, not a classroom photo. Class is class. I'm not looking forward to class for the next 4 years. I'm looking forward, to social things.
For sure.
Yep.
Yeah, like another thing about what Swami was saying with like the whole real thing, like if a person is in a picture like with these shining bright smiles looking straight at the camera, hair perfectly in place and the makeup's just gorgeous, like professionally done. No, I know you're not real. You're probably like 30 years old modeling in this picture.
Yeah.
So no, I'm sorry, I don't like the fakeness of the whole photo thing.
Yeah.
How many of you feel that strongly? Don't show me the staged photo, show me the real thing. How many of you really kind of agree with that? All right.
Not really a big deal.
What kinds of campus shots are important? Do you want to see broad pictures of the larger campus, or do you like to see the tighter shots of students and faculty working together, or just students alone, students having fun? You know what Alex Rob is going to do, he's just going to have fun. Yeah, okay.
I just feel like, I'm not saying no students at all, but I just feel like it'll be a good thing if I can see like all the different facilities and all the rooms and what it looks like, what the class looks like, what the labs look like, what the dorms look like, but that's about it.
Yep, here.
That's like, okay, so that's like a problem that I've been having because I'm going to be living in a quad my freshman year, but since there's so few of them, there's no picture of it, so I don't know, I just find that annoying, but I don't know, I think that's important so the students know what they look like.
Show me where I'm going to live.
Exactly.
Yeah. Other observations? Not photos? Yeah.
I agree with that because even when you go visit to a campus, sometimes you don't see every single thing. So you want to have an idea of what they actually have there for like everything and not just the certain things that you've seen.
Okay, good, good.
Something else, since I'm going to Loyola, I'll be right in the city, but I think too, like, other things around like the area where the school is, I think that's important to know too, because obviously you're there for school, but kids also want to know what, their options are on the weekends or at night or things like that too. I think that's important.
Let's talk about the writing. We've talked about the pictures. And most of our advertising, most of our publications, all of our correspondence, email and postal mail, all involves writing. And a lot of us who are of advanced age put a lot of emphasis on writing. That was diplomatic. I tried to make that diplomatic. And we just toil over choosing the right words and giving you the right amount of information and giving it. Any advice for us? Have you received anything that was written really, really well or written really poorly, or do you even read? How much stuff do you read? Let's start here.
No.
I didn't read a single email or like letter that came unless it was sports related, or if it was like the answer to if you got into the school or not. Everything else I just threw away.
Did you look at the pictures at all?
No.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, all right. Other observations about reading, how much you're willing to read? Let's start down at the end there.
I didn't read anything unless it said congratulations or you didn't get accepted. Everything else I didn't read.
Just cut to the chase. Give me the bottom line. I'm in, I'm out. Okay? So you didn't read all the view books and all the letters and all the brochures and all that stuff?
No.
No.
Not at all.
How many of the rest of you would say you didn't read very much or didn't read any at all? Okay? For those of you who did read, what was really good in terms of the editorial content, the writing that you read? Was anything really grabbing?
Though when I was reading, I like the ones at the colleges. They actually look like they're talking to me rather than just trying to get me to go to school, just talking about the school. They were more like addressing me and saying like, we want you, rather than our school is this and this and this. They more said like, this is why you should come. And so I like that second person.
So giving you reasons specifically to pay attention, not just talking about us as the college all the time, but really focusing on you. That's good. All right. Other observations about writing, good, bad, or otherwise?
A lot of the letters I've read were very well written and all that, but the point was at like the very end of the page. I think that colleges need to remember like we're fast-paced people. Like just get to the point, tell us what's important, and then move on.
Now, to that end, how much writing is too much? I mean, when you open the page of a book, like a college sends you a book, for those few of you who read the book, when you open the book, how much is too much writing? You just say, I don't have the time.
I mean, in general, if I did ever read one of the letters, it was like, I went through like the first 4 sentences, and then I was like done because I was bored. So it's like, I don't know the right amount, but it's like if you get at least capture my attention in the first 4, maybe I keep reading or get to the point in the first 4 and then stop, because it's like, otherwise it's just a whole bunch of fillers that I just don't pay attention to, and I don't know, that's just my point.
Oh, that's good, yeah.
Honestly, I work well with bullet points. Just state what I need to do and what's going on, and I'm set.
Okay. Bullet points.
Yeah, I feel the same way. I just feel like as far as like all the fillers and the extra like, words that schools use to make their school sound really good, I just feel like all schools like say the same thing. Yeah. So, I mean, it's like I feel like him like bullet points would be good. Bullets. Just give me what I want to know.
All right. Alex, you have some?
Yeah, I just like reading like a brief paragraph, something like 5 sentences, and that's about it.
Brief paragraph, 5 sentences. That's good. That's good. That's great advice. Yeah.
I feel like extensive elaboration on certain topics is going to be necessary, but in my experience, like when I was going through like U of I's website, like I really couldn't find a lot of detail on some of the programs that I was looking for, like as far as study abroad and some of the classes that they offered. They didn't really go into much detail about that, but yet when they send you, not even an admitted student yet, like some information about some random thing, it's like, whoa, that's a lot of information. I gotta go like, I don't know, somewhere. So it's really about having the right amount of information in the right places, and I feel like schools need to get that together.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea. This just made me think of Spark Notes, because when it's like tells about the characters and then it's like view more details about the character, and then you can click a link. So maybe like generalize some of your ideas and then have a link be like, if you want more information, go here.
Yeah.
That seems to resonate, if you hadn't noticed up here. Let's talk about, and we're going to open up to questions here shortly, but let's talk about the influence of your parents and your family in your decision. How many of you really sort of relied and you considered the choice of your school sort of a dual choice? Your parents and family helped out on the process. How many of you would say that characterizes you? How many of you think you kind of made this choice on your own at the end of the day? Okay, very good, very good. What's that? In the middle? Somewhere in the middle? Okay, very good. Admission counselors, the people that you connected with at your universities, how many, if you can tell me the name of your, don't tell me, but how many can tell me the name of your admission counselor? Okay, and those of you who don't, yeah, multiples, those of you who don't know your admission counselor, who is your primary contact on the campus, or did you just kind of read or listen to whoever called you, or ignored them all in your case?
The most important person that you talked to on campus was someone that you knew that went there. They're like the biggest influence on you, and because you can trust them, because you know them, and they're going to tell you what's good, what's bad, and the counselor's only going to tell you what you want to hear.
Okay. Counselor's only going to tell you what you want to hear. How many of you do agree with that? How many of you don't agree with that? Okay. Who's your favorite counselor? Let's do a little shout out here to your, because we're broadcasting live to the world right now. Anybody want to say anything really nice to the admission counselor who got you to the school? Mark Anthony gets to start.
I just want to say thank you to Liliana. She's my guidance counselor for Drake, and she really helped me out a lot, like a whole lot. And I haven't even started school yet.
Cool, Jayla?
My admissions counselor, Mr. Simon Hara. It's just like, I was really lost because like my mom, she went to like a skills college, and my sister, she went to Bradley, and she was like, I mean, not, my sister's very smart, but okay, we're just not going to go there, but but just like, I didn't know what I was doing really, but like I sent him a lot of emails, and I felt really bad because I thought I was annoying him, but he just kept, answering my questions and being really nice about everything and really understanding. And it wasn't like, Jayla, shut up, I'm really tired of listening to you. It was just like really helpful, so thanks a lot for that.
Cool. Any other shout outs to counselors? Yeah.
I'd like to shout out to my Drake University counselor, Mr. Blake Harns. Like, he's been with me since November, helped me every step, every way. And even when I was talking about track and like wanting to go to school, he really pushed the Drake relays on me and seemed like he was more excited for me to join the team than I was. So I really give a shout out to him.
Good. Others?
Yeah, I got one.
I just wanted to say thank you to mine. Her name is Christine O'Connor, and she was really great because I saw her at many events, and she remembered who I was, and she always said hi, and she just helped me with a lot of connections, and she gave me a lot of information, and she was very helpful.
All right. Who else? Somebody down here?
Yeah,
Ben?
down here. I just want to say thanks to Tisleen. She was just always friendly when I'd visit campus. And she'd always come and like talk to me and stuff and just have like a regular conversation. It didn't always have to be about like college and coming there. So she's just pretty friendly.
Just Selena at Drake, right? Okay. Others before we move on? Yeah.
Yeah, my admissions counselor was Stephen Barnes at St. Louis University, and he was really good. Like, even when I met him at a college fair after I'd just been emailing him a bunch of times, like, he had been looking out for me and, like, asking, oh, have you seen Alex yet? And then when I met him, he was really cool, and every time I see him on campus, like, he remembers my name and, like, is very friendly and courteous, and I like that.
Relationships recruit. Always will. Always have. Always will. Let's talk about campus visits, and then we're going to open it up for questions, so if you have any questions. Campus visits. How many of you visited the campuses that you were considering? I want to hear a great campus visit story and a really, really wacky, not so good campus visit story because of Jayla.
Well, the first
Make them quick.
The first one I was NIU, and it was really bad because it was just so huge and like it was just really impersonal, so I didn't like that. But Loyola, it was like you were divided into groups and you like went on tours with a small group, so that was really cool.
Other good and bad campus visit stories.
I have a bad one. I went and visited Illinois Wesleyan for an interview, and they sent me all the information, the time, the date. I was early, and I got there, and no one was there. So the whole building that it was supposed to be in was closed. So we drove 3 hours, and
Okay, other goods and bads?
That's awesome.
Were they important or campus, Ben?
When I visited Miami University of Ohio, I would say that was the best one. My campus tour guide, he like knew everything about the school. And saw a lot of good-looking girls there, so that was pretty good.
Jokes.
There is that primal aspect of the campus visit, rearing its ugly head. Other good, bad campus visit stories? How about it? Yeah.
I know I had one, and the person didn't really seem like they wanted to be there. I don't know if like it's her fault or whoever, but she did not want to be there at all. She was kind of like, this is this, there's that. It's nice here, I guess. I was like, okay.
What was the most important part of the campus visit? I'm guessing you got to campus and they greeted you, and maybe you went to see a class and talked with a professor and took a tour and talked to a coach or something. I mean, of all that stuff and others, what was the most important part of the campus visit experience for you guys?
Mine was looking at 2 dorms that I wanted to choose from. It was between Illini Tower and Bromley for me, and I got to see like Bromley's like huge pool in person, and then I also got to see like the Illini Tower staff, which like seemed a little bit more genuine to me, and that's what made me like finally made my decision to stay there.
Okay, good. Other really important aspects of the campus visit. Yeah.
Well, when I visited, it was a step show going on, and it was nice. I really liked it, so it made me consider possibly joining the frat.
So there's a step show going on, and it gave you kind of a taste of campus life, what it felt
exactly.
like to be there. All right.
The rec center.
The rec center.
Yeah.
All right.
That's where you're going to be spending a lot of your time. So if it's like a dump, like you're not going to want to go there. Because outside the classroom, that's the number one place that I personally am going to like be at with intramurals and stuff.
Good. Cafeteria? Yeah. Ben likes the cafeteria? Yeah. Here?
I have 2. I definitely had to see the track since I'm going to be on there, and I had to see the cafeteria, definitely.
Good, good. All right. Yes, go ahead.
Okay, so when I went to Loyola, they really showed us like all of like the hot spots, but then 2 like spots that were like specific to Loyola. There's like one spot called the Echo spot that's like a big deal. I guess if you yell it into the lake, that it like echoes back at you, and it does. But I don't know, and just that the person leading you around really knows the information. Like you ask a question and they know the answer on the spot. I think is really important too.
All right. I want to open it up to some questions here. And Quint, are you in the room? If you could take a look at what the feed has looked like, and if we've got questions from out in the world, and we're going to start right up here.
How's the Twitter feed?
Hi, question about the tours that you took at the college you visited. What did you want to know from your tour guide? More facts about the school, more stories, or something else entirely?
I know when I visited the University of Florida, I don't really like. Obviously, they start out with like the. Like it was founded whenever, like this building was made whenever. But I definitely remember the stories that my tour guide said, so like you brought up stories for sure.
Others?
Social aspect.
I need you to, my tour guides, I wanted them to show me like, I know everything about the school already. I know all the history and everything, so you need to show me like where I'm going to be able to have fun when I'm there. That's important to me.
Other stuff you want to hear from your tour guide? Okay, we have a question here.
Well, we all have heart palpitations when you tell us you don't read what you get in the mail. So in an attempt to get you to further look into what the college has to offer, do you use QR codes? Does that work for you?
What is that?
If I see it, yeah, sure.
I don't have an iPhone.
They're those little barcode-looking things that you can scan into your smartphones.
Yes, I do.
Take a picture and
I don't
give you
have a
link to the-
smartphone, so
No,
that doesn't really work.
Eric, I have a question back here. Hi. First of all, I want to thank you all for coming because you remind us why we're in the crazy business that we're in. If it weren't for you, I don't think we'd do what we do. But the question that I have is how many of you are attending religious affiliated schools? And if any of you are, was that a factor in your decision?
My school is a Jesuit school, and that was important to me because Jesuit schools are known for having like really solid education. So that was like a very motivating factor for me.
Mine's a Jesuit school as well, and I've gone to Catholic schools my whole life, so I guess I just wanted to carry that on, and that's definitely a blessing to be able to go, so I was lucky to have that option, I guess.
Oh, yeah. I'm also going to Loyola University, which is a Jesuit school, and I mean, yeah, it was really important to me, but I mean, I had a lot of other Christian school options. The main reason I went was due to, the reputation it had and things like that, but it is like a plus, like an icing on the cake to have that foundation there, so it was really, really good to have that there, so.
What criteria did you use to evaluate your majors or academic programs at the schools that you considered?
How did you determine the quality of the academic program at your school that you're going to?
Alumni.
Okay, expand on that. What do you mean alumni?
Like my boss at work, he went to the University of Illinois, and so he would kind of tell me about like different engineering programs and kind of like his experience. This class was really tough because either the professor was bad or like the course material was hard. But for me, just talking to alumni from the university.
There's this website called, I think it's called ratemyprofessor.com, and that is so helpful. It like talks a lot about like, oh, this teacher is really hard, but he's nice, or like it just gives you like a good balance of like, oh, what is really important to you.
Eric, I have
others, just a second.
For like strength of the program, definitely looking at like U.S. News usually has most of the ranking stuff. So like if like I'm looking at Accounting U of I, and like I found that's third in the nation at Illinois, so it's a big I don't know, like eye catcher.
Did any of you look for indicators on the college's website to give you a sense of quality of academic program? Anybody do that at all? Just raise your hand if you looked for. So you're looking sort of outside the college or university for like third-party verification of quality. Okay, good. Yeah, over here.
Yeah, it's like what I said.
Yeah.
Right there.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Sorry, I wasn't listening. I took a little nap for a second. Becky.
Thank you for your comments. They're great. Getting some great input. I have a question about photographs. How important is it for you to see your ethnicity in the photographs in the publicity that you're getting?
Rob? Sure. Yeah, when I see, I mean, obviously, you gotta, have all the diversity in the picture, but I always see that as like super forced. So, I mean, it's not a big deal for me at all if I don't see an Asian kid in the picture,
Honestly, it's not.
I mean, yeah, it's like, I don't know, it's not, the stereotypes are really interesting. It's like, it's not really about that to me. It's like the people, it's your personality that you get along with. I mean, but I just like a lot of races in general. Again, like it's really forced usually, but I do like a lot of races out of school just because I like to know about different cultures and things. But overall, that's not really a big deal in general.
Okay.
For me personally, it wasn't that big of a deal because I don't mind interacting with other races. But for my parents, it was more of a big deal because they wanted to see other races there to make sure that I'm not going to be the only one. So that was very important to them. So that's very important to have that in the brochures.
One more, Mark Anthony.
That wasn't really a big thing to me because I feel like even if there's like one like black person at the school, they can easily just take that one black person and put them in a picture. So that doesn't really it doesn't really mean anything. So.
All right, I have a question here for Courtney.
You haven't talked about the cost of college and how expensive it is, how that factored into your decision, how financial aid, or did you get scholarships? Were there merit? How influenced were merit scholarships to your decision to attend the school?
All right. Talk about financial aid.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. That's how I made my decision on my college. Honestly, the cheapest option is what I went for.
All right. Go ahead.
I was kind of juvenile in my decision. Like I just was like, I'm going to worry about costs later and like apply to just whichever school, and then I got scholarships.
Okay. Other observations, Ben?
Yeah, it all came down to how much scholarships and how much financial aid I got from each school because my final two schools that I was deciding between, one was like half the price of the other, so I just decided to go with that for my 4 years at college.
Okay. Who else has a scholarship, financial aid? How many of you know the difference between scholarships and grants? Is a loan good or bad? All right. Yeah. How about merit scholarships? Do you understand what a merit scholarship? What does that mean? What is merit scholarship? This is a little test. Yeah.
That's something like you earned through what you've done, what you've like maybe you did an application or something that you've earned and won, kind of like a contest a little bit.
Good. We have a question here.
Yeah, my question is kind of two-part. First, how many of you guys had kind of a clear number one choice as you went through the entire process and ended up going to that first choice? And then if any of you guys didn't end up going to your first choice, what was the factor that made you change your mind from that first choice to the school you ended up going to?
So the first question, raise your hand. How many of you had a first choice all the way through the process and you knew where you were going to go and you were going there for sure? A couple of you? Just a couple? Okay. And the second part of the question was, if you didn't have that first choice in mind, how did you ultimately choose the school you're going to? Well, what made you change your mind from your first choice, Jayla?
Yeah, I first was like really set on Columbia College because I wanted to go into like writing and focus on that. But then like the campus visits was really what changed my mind. Like I'm really big on like my environment. Like I'm really into like nature and like I have to have a good environment or else I'll die. So like Loyola has a really very nice campus and it's very large and stuff. It's far enough away from the city that I don't get irritated with like loud noises and stuff. So that's what really changed my mind, to be honest.
Yep. Other options?
What changed my mind was I didn't get accepted, so I had no other choice but to pick another college.
Going where you got in. Okay, that makes good sense. I love it. Alex?
When I first started, my first choice was Morehouse College, and then talking to my admissions counselor, he was really evasive, and then he called me and we had like a really long conversation, but he started getting attitudes with me, and then just like looking into it more, I was like, I don't think so. But
So it's kind of the admission counselor was the tipping point for you. Yeah.
Yeah, my number one at the beginning was University of Florida, and just because, I mean, I guess their whole campaign, they really pushed the whole Gator Nation thing, and I really like that, because, I don't know, the whole cliche, like, be a part of something bigger. And then it was University of Iowa. I really wasn't looking at Iowa at all, but, I mean, just seeing the whole dollar sign in the scholarships, I mean, that's basically turned my eye to that. And then I settled on U of I, just because I visited there and being actually like on the quad and like seeing the whole campus. Like the biggest thing for me was seeing like could I see myself here in the next 4 years, and it was yes.
So fit kind of weighed in there. Got a question here.
Yes, when you think back to your recruitment process in high school, and think about the materials you received, is there a point where it's too early to hear from a college? And if you do hear from a college, say your freshman or sophomore years, is it just that you'll discard those materials, or is it actually something that will sort of sour you on that university?
Right after, as sophomore year, we took the plan test, they started sending college stuff, and that was very early because I wasn't really thinking about it. So that was really early. I started getting like 50 colleges sending stuff just from the plan test, and I haven't even taken the ACT yet. So that was kind of a little early.
Jayla, do you have a comment? No? When is too early? When is too early to start?
Well, I think it's bad to start. You can start looking at colleges, but to receive colleges before you even taken the ACT, you don't know where you stand with those colleges. So it's basically pointless to receive information if you don't even know if you can go there.
Okay. All right. Other observations about when it's too soon? All right, Becky? Yeah. Who's got the microphone?
You say you don't read our stuff, but would you read it? Would you be interested in reading things from students at that institution?
No.
So, well, okay, explain. If you said no, why don't you want to read stuff from the students, Alex?
Well, if it's genuine, then I'll read it. But if it's like by the first sentence, and I can tell that it's some kind of forced and like not coming from them, then I won't want to read it.
Okay. Other observations about?
I don't want to read any 2-page long letter at all. I'm not, if it's long and I'm looking at it and it's a lot of work, I'm not going to read it. So it doesn't matter who sent it to me.
So short is better.
Yeah.
Yeah, Mark Anthony?
I just feel like, you know, maybe, like, I'm not saying that anybody will ever do this, but, you know, if you get a student to write it out by hand maybe and put it on a notebook, piece of paper, it might seem a little more real, because I feel like if it's on just a white piece of paper typed and, you know, a stamped signature, I feel like everybody gets it, so it's not really, you know.
Okay. One last.
Yeah, I don't know if there's like a way this could happen, but like if you had a way to assign like students from the college to like be able to talk to them, like, I don't know, over Facebook. I know that's like taboo, but like maybe, possibly, over like Facebook or something, like a chat, or like, oh, do you have any questions? This is what it's like, this is what's good, this is what's bad. That maybe would work. Possibly.
Okay. Question in the back of the room there.
Okay, I guess it's two-part, following up on what you just talked about. How many of you open envelopes of any kind? What makes you open the envelope or not?
Like if I heard of the school, I'll definitely open it and read it and see what like's going on. Maybe if there's like some stats in there, I'll check out the stats and see what it's about. But I don't throw out letters right away. I usually look at them, like I'll read them. I'm not gonna just pitch them right away.
So you'll open letters from schools that you know of, that you've
Yeah,
heard
I'll
of before.
definitely read, and like if something like has a nice picture in the front, like of like a beautiful campus, like I'll look at it, maybe see what it's about if I haven't heard of it.
How many of you agree with that? You'll open it if you've heard of the school and it's a good-looking picture or that sort of thing? Yeah, go ahead, I'll comment here.
I was about to say, I just feel appreciated. Just like a college just recognizes my achievements anyway, so I open it if it has my name on it and I see a college or university at the top left-hand corner.
Okay, all right. Any other advice for envelopes that do get opened? Yeah.
If I would get my mail every week, instead of like opening the 25, 30 letters, just like the one little, even if it's like a 5-page booklet, I'd much rather actually read that than any other letter.
Okay, we got one question up here, and then Quint, if you have any from online, we'll take that next after this.
Okay, so reading's out. We get it. So most of us get it. But what about videos?
Yes.
Short ones.
All right, let's expand on videos a little bit. What videos have you seen that you liked? What makes a good video? Where do you watch the videos? Why do you watch the videos? Right here.
I mean, if it's short, I would watch the video. It still has to be short. I don't like standing there, doing something for long periods of time,
Yeah.
Because if it takes me the same amount of time to read it as it does to watch a video, it's basically the same thing.
Okay, all right.
A video that I remember is from U of I. It was about a study abroad program, and it was actually like a video taken in Spain. Like the girl was like, "Hey, my name is blah blah blah. I just arrived in Spain, and I'm excited for the program," or something like that. So something like real and authentic, and it's like there.
Okay, yep.
One of the videos I actually watched was the butler had a videotape of like 5 different students showed their dorm room, and that was just useful because that's the only way you can see the dorm rooms without visiting the campus.
Okay, good. Other advice for videos? One last piece of advice for videos that you like. Where do you watch them? Where do you everybody go to YouTube, or do they?
Well, on the Facebook page Drake has, they had a raffle once, and so like when they have the raffle, they have a short clip of like somebody's talking about a certain experience or like a certain area. Like somebody will talk about dorms, someone will talk about the recreation center, so stuff like that. So it gives you, that makes you really want to watch it, and you get a prize at the end.
Oh,
if you're
prize at the
participating.
end.
So yeah, I like that.
Dangle that prize. Okay, Quint, let's take a question or two from online.
Sure. Well, somebody was asking, anyone experienced an overnight visit, and was it important in your decision to attend that school?
How many of you stayed overnight on a campus? Okay, and how important, or good, bad, or otherwise, was that? Yeah.
I stayed overnight at St. Mary's University in Minnesota, and it was important to me going there, but I didn't end up going there. But I like the overnight stay. It's a good school to go to, but it wasn't an overnight stay that was like assigned, so
okay.
I don't think that should count as an overnight stay.
Okay, all right, good advice. Yeah.
For me, it like made my trip because the first time I visited Loyola, I visited on a day where it was like 50 degrees and it was raining, so I was kind of disappointed. But then I went back and like had my little overnight, and it was just like that little taste of what it's really going to be like. And then you have somebody there to ask like all the questions in the world, and they'll know the answer because they have been there for a year or whatever.
Okay, other observations about overnights? Yeah, Ben.
Yeah, I think it was good to just like meet some of the people there and see what they do on the everyday like campus life, eat at the cafeteria, go to the rec center and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it was just a good experience just to kind of get to know the campus, like what it's really like outside of class.
All right, Quint, another question from online?
This one's kind of about smartphones. I know some of you mentioned that you didn't have them, but have you actually you access the actual website, a mobile site, or even use mobile apps at all?
Okay, so those of you who have smartphones, yeah.
Yeah, I know. I checked my my decision for U of I on my phone, and I took a screenshot of it and I posted it on Facebook and everything. So I mean, there's that.
Okay. How have the rest of you who have smartphones used them? Have you accessed websites? Yeah, is that important? Anything good about that experience or bad about that experience? Did you notice, was it hard to make the screen bigger or smaller? We're not going to get technical because I can't. Ben?
Yeah, I was just going to say most of the websites are pretty big and they have like a lot of tabs at the top. So like on the small iPhone screen, it's pretty hard to like navigate through all that. So I usually just do it on my laptop. Yeah, so I don't really do it on my smartphone that much.
That wasn't me.
Was it?
Don't you be looking at me like that. All right, question up here.
Okay, since none of you read the letters that we send,
I read
and,
them.
and well, a few of you, and financial aid was critical in most of your decisions, how was your financial aid communicated to you?
Yeah, in the mail, when you read the letters, the prices, and they were always bolded. So it always catches your attention. So even if you don't read, you read the bolded with the money.
I scanned like over it. Like I didn't read the whole letter. I opened it and I was like, oh, well, I need to know that. I need to know that, and then I just didn't read the rest of the letter.
Look for the big letters and the bullet points. Bullet points, bullet points. All right. Becky, you have someone? All right. I'm going to come back here, and then Becky's going to do one right after this.
To go on with the communication flow, if there was one or two things that you guys would receive in the mail besides your actual acceptance letter, what would that be? What would, if we threw away everything else that we're sending to you right now, besides your admissions letter, what would one or two things be that you would need to receive?
Need to know information. Need to know. Yes.
I guess like financial aid.
Financial aid? Yep, down here.
Oh, are you talking like information or like products?
Both, anything. What is essential to
Go lanyards. You gotta go lanyards.
Lanyards?
Yeah, for sure.
All right, send your letters with the lanyard. All right.
I know I got a big booklet from Boston College. Did a really good job. Like on the back and on the inside covers were just like facts, and then inside was like pictures, and then writing about programs and like what's going on here, what's going on there. So it's just kind of like you gotta have a good mix. I know some people don't read it, but a lot of people actually do read it. So I definitely would not just like throw out every single writing thing you do, because people are gonna read it.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah, just go. Oh, sorry. Just going on along with what he was saying. It's like the facts. I feel like just get to the point with the facts. It's not the problem that we don't want to know it. It's just an abundance, and it feels like unnecessary information given. So just get to the point, and then also, like you said, like a good mix. Like also the social aspect of the school. So just a mix.
A mix. One last comment, Ben.
The thing I liked most was like the schools that would send like a big kind of envelope and it have a lot of pictures in it, and then like going off like the bullet point kind of things that just have like a quick fact under each picture or something. So like while you're looking at the picture, like your eye catches the thing and you just read it because it's really short.
The KISS principle. Keep it simple, short.
Dummy.
Okay, so most of you said that you wouldn't read very much, but would you read a postcard if it was handwritten? Just a quick postcard, you don't have to open it up, just has a picture on one side and it's written on the other.
Yes, if it's
Because we send out a lot of those, and sometimes we'll do like a little checklist. You have this in, you have this in, you need this still. Would you read that? It's literally just quick.
Yeah.
Okay.
Becky, you have anybody back there? Nope. One up here. Okay, hold tight. Hold tight. And Quint, I'm going to go back to you after this if you have any others from online.
Some of you gave shout outs to the admissions counselor at the campus. How did you prefer communicating with them?
Phone and email, definitely.
Phone and email.
Yeah.
How many like the phone and the email? Yep.
Yeah, I emailed a lot with my counselor, so that was really helpful.
Good. Becky?
Have all of you attended your freshman orientation? And if so, what's left an impression on you?
What's been good, bad, and otherwise about orientation?
I thought my orientation was very amazing, especially from the orientation leaders. And I was already excited to go to the school, but after orientation, I'm even more ecstatic to go back.
Okay. Other good orientation? Yeah.
Yeah, I had a great orientation. I didn't want to leave after I went to orientation.
That's a good sign. Well, what made it good? I mean, what about it that...
Well, they did like general sessions, and then they did breakout sessions with like group leaders, and then you'd go to like lunch and dinner with people in your group, so you got to know the kids. And then at night they like hired like a DJ, and like they had like a party and stuff in the quad.
All right.
Yeah.
Party in the quad. You've been waiting 18 years to party in the quad, haven't you? Ben?
Oh yeah, I was just gonna say like up until like about 8 o'clock we just like registered for classes kind of and did that kind of stuff. But then after we had like a DJ similar to that, and we did like karaoke and stuff. It was just like with our groups, and I thought it was really fun.
Other orientation stories? Yeah.
I really liked my orientation, but it was just like an overload of information poured upon me, and I probably don't remember 90% of it, but the leaders did tell me that was normal. But I just think too, like, if it would help if, I don't know, maybe there was like some booklet created of like finance. Okay, you need to do this, this, and this, and like these are when the due dates are for everything, and when you need to have everything in, and like just like different tabs for all different kinds of stuff, because you're just so overloaded and it's kind of a very overwhelming process.
So we title it "Everything You Forgot About Orientation That You Must Remember."
Exactly.
Swami.
I went to my registration yesterday, actually, and I had an appointment with my guidance counselor, and it was only supposed to be for 30 minutes. I ended up staying for an hour and a half.
Wow.
She was really cool. Like, we talked about, like, different TV shows. Like, we kind of started on one subject, but we went to calculus for a really long time and then veered off into a different thing. So it made me seem like they were, like, real people. They're not just there just to be like, hey, these are classes by.
Okay, good. Quentin, you have one last question?
Sure. Somebody was curious about social media beyond Facebook. Are you interested in Tumblr, Twitter, or blogs?
Okay, who reads blogs? Who reads blogs? Once again, who reads blogs? Okay, the vote's in. Tumblr. Who's using Twitter? Tell me who's using Twitter. What do you use it for? What's it most valuable for? Just friend communication? Tumblr? Yep.
Yeah, I like Tumblr. If you put things on Tumblr, that'd be good.
How about Pinterest? Who's using Pinterest for anything? We like Pinterest? Okay, raise them high if you like Pinterest. Okay, what do you like about Pinterest?
It's like, I feel like Pinterest is like Facebook, but better. Like, if you put things on Pinterest, I'll definitely look.
And are any colleges effectively using Pinterest?
No, nobody had anything on Pinterest.
Okay.
How about Instagram?
Instagram too.
No.
Yeah, nobody had anything on Instagram.
Yeah.
Would you follow a school on
If it was,
Instagram?
like, if my school was on Instagram, I would follow my school on Instagram. Yeah, I would.
Okay, I hate to do this because this is so much fun. You get the last word.
What? Oh, no, never mind.
No, not really. Okay.
Like, it would be, it's not a good color. So I'll just, yeah.
Yeah, no. You guys are outstanding. Thank you so much. I'm sure they'll hang around for a few minutes if you have just a few questions, but I want to thank you all very much. We're going to adjourn to lunch upstairs, but on behalf of everybody at Staymates, thanks so much for being a part of this. What? I have no idea what you're saying.
I'm gonna have to follow one of y'all home.
Oh, the drawing. We have to do the drawing. We'll go get the drawing thing out there.
$5 a question.